I was going to try to come up with a name, but I can't. I don't have a name for the show, but it doesn't matter. We're live, and we're going to talk about the Mandalorian season 2, episode 5, or chapter 13.
Chapter 13.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Jay and I are here, and we are live, and there are our names again.
Barely awake.
Yeah, well, it was worth staying up for. Uh, we're going to talk about the episode called The Jedi. And why was it called The Jedi? Because, well, there you go. Ahsoka is live action.
My
And
girl. We
yeah.
finally get my girl in live action. Man. And like we were just talking, man, they did her right, man. They made her look good.
She looked great. Let's take another look at that. Before we go any further, please hit the subscribe button. We'll be talking Star Wars and Marvel and DC and all kinds of stuff. We're going to do weekly reactions to The Mandalorian until the end of the season, which is not far off now. And then we will spoil things a little bit because you know what? You're warned. You're warned in the title.
Yeah, if you haven't seen chapter 13, then
don't watch it.
Back out now and come back later after you watched it.
Definitely don't look at the image that's up right now.
All right.
Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano, and she looks amazing.
Divert your eyes. Yeah, and not only was her look spot on, but the way they had her move. Like that was one of the another thing I was worried about is we're used to seeing her jump around and be super athletic and agile in the animated shows. I'm like, is she gonna move like that, or how is she gonna move? But yeah, she moved the way she danced around with her lightsabers and jumping across rooftops when she was in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Ahsoka, spot on.
Yeah, she wasn't far off from what we've seen in the Clone Wars and Rebels alike, and it was good to see her. Good to see the white lightsabers too.
And she looked like she was aged properly. Like that's about it. I guess she looked about the right age.
I'm trying to think.
Last we've seen her was at the end of Rebels.
She was like what, 14, 15 at the beginning of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So if I do my math right, she should be close to 40. So Rosario Dawson, I think, is right around there. So yeah, she looked great. I have no complaints about her look. I really liked the costume choice, which was that was a weird sound coming out of my mouth, which kind of harkened back to what she wore in everything that she's in.
Yeah, but, season 7 of Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, she looked great,
and she looked good. I liked when they had her in the robe too. Especially when sometimes you just see her silhouette and then the white sabers lit up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man!
Well, let's talk about the opening with that, because that was one of the coolest things, seeing her before they even threw the Mando title card up. We see her. You've got this little kind of forest area. There's fog. It's dark. You see her lightsabers light up, take somebody down, disappear. They can't keep track of her. How cool is that?
That was awesome. That was almost like Winter Soldier when he lands on the ship. It's just taking out the bad guys. But they didn't make us wait long. We didn't have to wait long to see Ahsoka.
No, and you mentioned off air that we got a lot. She got a lot of screen time. We got to see her a lot, which was great, and got to see her in action too. It wasn't just her kind of hanging around. She was mostly in action.
Yeah, we got to see her personality side too, though. There was some tender moments with her and Grogu, as we now know his name is.
Yep, that's the other big. Well, there's a lot of stuff to unpack in this episode, and you just mentioned the child now has a name.
Yep.
Which is Grogu. I can't.
Grogu.
Grogu. It's until you get used to it, it's gonna be a tongue twister, I think.
Yeah.
Grogu.
It's like goo that grows.
Like goo. Yeah.
It grew from a thing of goo.
Probably did. Who knows? I don't know. Are they tadpoles first? Who knows? So yeah, his child has a name. We got to see Ahsoka finally. And we know where the Mandalorian and Grogu are going to be going off to next. We also got 2 name drops in this episode. One was Yoda, was mentioned.
That was cool.
As
That
soon
was a
as
cool
Ahsoka
callback.
saw Grogu, she's like, I'm interested in that guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there was the little skirmish between Ahsoka and Din Djarin was pretty cool. He
Yeah.
stopped it real fast, though. It was
Yeah.
one thing that I took away from that immediately was seeing his Beskar armor block a lightsaber.
That's what I
That
was
was
wondering.
cool.
That was the first thing that went through my mind was, will the Beskar block a lightsaber? And yeah, apparently it does.
Yep.
Which was, I guess, that little moment set up the fact that she was gonna that the magistrate with her Beskar staff was actually going to be able to duel it out with Ahsoka. And we also in that opening scene they showed Ahsoka's little owl that follows her around.
Yeah, a lot there. Like I said, there's a lot to pay attention to in this episode. There's one of the things I like to do after I watch The Mandalorian, other than watch it a second time, which I will with my son, is I like to watch a couple of the Easter egg shows to see if there is anything I missed. And I'm sure there are things that I've missed, and I'm really looking forward to this episode because we not grew up, but we watched her grow up from the beginning of the Clone Wars up through Rebels, and now finally live action. So it was very gratifying to see her on screen live action, and they picked a great actress. And again, seeing those white lightsabers is really cool too, because it's always red, blue, green, purple, and now we get the white lightsabers on screen. I was very happy about that.
Yeah, that was cool, and I hope we get to see the white lightsabers battle against the dark saber. How cool would that be? The white,
very cool.
White up against the black sabers.
I guess I'm hoping that by the time we get to the 8th episode, we'll get to see. Okay, sorry, I want to make sure we were live on YouTube. I'm hoping we'll get to see Bo-Katan and Ahsoka, and I'm still holding out Sabine. That might be where my minimal disappointment is with the episode. As I was hoping for Sabine to be around. I'm a huge Sabine fan. She was my favorite in Rebels by far. But I'm hoping like there's something happens where we're going to see them all together,
where they all come back together.
I'm hoping that, and then of course Boba Fett will be around also.
That would be cool.
Yeah, because he's still left on Tatooine. This is the 5th or 6th planet they've visited this season, right?
Yeah, something like that. He's been world hopping.
Yeah, he'll be going to a new planet. Well, I'm guessing in the next episode.
Yeah,
Tython, which was a planet that when I heard it, I'm like, where do I know that from? And I'm like, I swear that was in a comic before the Disney bought Lucasfilm, and it was in Dawn of the Jedi, written by John Ostrander. But even go a step further, it's originally from the Darth Bane Rule of Two book. So that's really cool. I know that it's also been in Dr. Aphra, and
has it been in a video game as well?
I don't know about video games. Maybe they used it a lot after 2007's Rule of Two book. But the thing is, I wonder with the hell they call it, the High Republic book that's coming out, if that'll play a role in the High Republic, because that's takes place in the older what have you of the Star Wars. So anyway, it's cool though. Sorry, thought my mic was loose. It's cool that Ahsoka pointed them in the direction to go to this one of the early Jedi temples, I'm guessing is what it is. Of course, we know the one on Ahch-To where Luke was
right.
The first. So this is one of the second, third, tertiary, maybe.
And I was trying to remember earlier. Did we see the Jedi Temple on Lothal get destroyed? Was it destroyed, or did it just go back underground?
I think he just went back underground.
Okay. Oh, we got to see another Lothal cat too in this episode.
Both cats
running around in the village.
God, this episode raises so many questions for me.
So back to the Sabine thing. I had heard that I was hoping she was going to be in this episode, but then I had heard the reports that she was not. But the thing I don't understand is on those early promo pieces that they put out, the character posters with all of the graffiti, it was very Sabine Wren style graffiti. Because you had like the stormtrooper helmets and the other like the
especially in
Gamorrean
episode
guards, and
one.
they had the circle, the red circle with the line through it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it made it seem like we were going to get her sometime this season, but not yet. We still got 3 more episodes that maybe she will show up, but I don't know.
I mean, Ahsoka's hunting down Thrawn, name drop, so maybe she's somewhere else looking for the same person.
Yeah,
I mean, they're obviously still looking for Ezra.
The curious thing about that, though, is she asked the magistrate where her, what does she refer to him? Her master?
Her master, I believe.
Where is your master? Tell me where your master is. So that makes me believe that he's returned from the outer rim or the unknown region or whatever.
Yeah, because if it's still her master,
yeah,
he's been gone since the before A New Hope.
Yeah.
So he has to be relaying messages back to her.
Right. Like the magistrate knows where Thrawn is. So
yeah, especially if Ahsoka assumes that she knows where he is, then he has to be, in my opinion, has to be around. And I think, I mean, who knows? who knows where Thrawn is and what's going on? And the thing I'm interested in seeing is like, are there going to be competing Imperial remnants like Thrawn versus Gideon?
Right.
How cool would that be?
That's a point, because if they're not all working together, because wasn't that kind of in Legends too?
Yeah,
they were kind of different factions.
Yeah, because Thrawn actually ran one of them.
Right.
And then there was the Crimson Empire, which was the Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of them. There was a few of them actually, and they actually hung around all the way through all the Yuzon Vong War and the Nest War, all the stuff that in the books. The Imperial Remnant was around for a long time, and then they worked together with the Republic to have their own little empire. It was weird, but yeah.
So if Thrawn is back, then Ezra would probably be back, right? Maybe Ezra, Sabine, and Hera, maybe the old Ghost crews, back together somewhere.
For Hera, I assume that well, first of all, the Ghost was in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
So,
was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, in that final battle.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So I'm assuming Hera worked with the rebellion all throughout.
Didn't it show up in Rogue One as well?
Her name was mentioned in Rogue One, so she was on.
Was the Ghost at Yavin when they were back?
Yeah, I don't know if the Ghost was there, but they mentioned her name. They said her name like over intercom. General Syndulla. Yeah. So yeah, I would assume that she's been with the rebellion and everything for a long time. We got a comment from Alonso Rojas that says they made Tython canon again. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm so happy about that. Yeah, that's when I heard that, I'm like, holy crap! Thank you, and please subscribe to the channel. We're new. We're trying to do some new stuff here, Alfonso. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. But yeah, back to Thrawn and most of the rebels. I mean. I'm assuming where is Ezra Bridger? That was kind of the hook they left us with at the end of Rebels, right?
Yeah.
So and what we remember what we saw with him and Thrawn at the very end of his episode or whatever. I wonder if maybe Thrawn somehow was able to overpower him and has him locked up somewhere, because it does sound like Thrawn is active right now somewhere.
Oh, maybe that's why Ahsoka wants to find him so bad.
That's what I'm thinking. And that's maybe where Sabine is. Maybe Sabine's somewhere else looking for clues to find Thrawn, find Ezra.
Right, because now going back to the end of Rebels, didn't Sabine leave with Ahsoka? Weren't they together?
Yes.
Supposedly going to try to find Ezra? So
Mm-hmm.
Where is Sabine? So who we know, if he's not a Supreme Troll, who may more than likely be playing Ezra, who would you like to see play Thrawn? Who would be a
Oh
good
man, you
actor?
put me on the spot. That's anybody watching. That's the question. Who would you like to see play Grand Admiral Thrawn? Man, that's a good
What
question. You have somebody in mind? Because I don't.
about Hiddleston?
that would be cool. I mean, he's already in the family.
Right, he's in
So
the
yeah,
Disney family.
yeah.
Put down his Loki robes and
Did
be
you by chance see the comic of Thrawn from his early days? Like he was in, I believe, the Clone Wars, and he met Anakin and stuff like that, and they worked together at one point. But before he joined the Empire, he was like on some planet, had really long hair. And
I had the issue 1, and that kind of he seemed kind of weird seeing him with long hair,
it
but
was. But what if he's out there? What if they're searching for him too? Like, what if that lady who her name's escaping me? What if she has no idea where Thrawn is and she's searching for him too?
the
And
magistrate
yeah, the magistrate.
oh,
What if he's got long hair and he's wild? Him and Ezra are working together or something on some planet, you know?
he's on a binge.
Yeah, that'd be something else. Work like two enemies working together. What was that movie back in the early '80s? Enemy of Mine or something like that, or
Oh, I'm not familiar with that.
I can't remember. It's like an alien and a human crash land on a planet. They have to work together to survive.
Hmm.
I mean, that actually happens in the Thrawn trilogy with Luke and Mara Jade. They crash land, and she's sent to kill him, and they have to work together to survive. So
I like the episode of Rebels where Zeb and Callus were trapped.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, I think I have a weird feeling. I mean, you mentioned Ahsoka's getting her own show, and there's rumors of maybe even a Boba Fett show, but that might be something completely different. But I have a weird feeling that this is going to branch off into having multiple shows that cross into each other.
they're all interwoven.
Yeah, like we could end up seeing the Mandalorian in Ahsoka's show, or if there's a Rebels. The only thing I've heard about a Rebels sequel show is an animated show, but maybe this is coming to live action because the cast are the first. Well, a couple of them already shown up in the Mandalorian.
And there haven't been any reports or rumors or anything about the animated show for a while. Like I have not
It's been a
heard
while.
anything about the animated show for a while. I've heard more about a possible Ezra and Thrawn show. If they had their own show, that might go back to the theory that you brought up, where maybe Thrawn has Ezra.
Yeah, or maybe, like I said,
who knows what happened to how their relationship changed once they were trapped in wherever they ended up going.
Yeah, I would assume that the Star Destroyer. I mean, based on what was happening, I'm assuming that it probably wrecked somewhere.
Right.
I don't think it would have been. I mean, they crashed out the windows.
That big old creature was all wrapped around her.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I'm assuming it crash landed on some planet in the unknown regions or something like that, and we don't know where they are. And that's my more. If I have a theory about Thrawn, that's my theories. They're out. They're not. The way Ahsoka made it sound, the way that the episode kind of made it sounded like maybe Thrawn was out there active. But for me, I feel like he might be like they haven't found him yet. They're just holding out hope that he's still there, because really it's been 9 years or so since the last time that Ezra or Thrawn had been seen at this point.
Right.
So I mean, as far as we know, of course, because who knows what happened after Return of the Jedi. Because I think Mandalorian takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, approximately
5 or 7 years, something like that.
How long? Do you know what the time gap is from A New Hope to Return of the Jedi?
4 years.
It is 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
The Wikipedia has so the episode we saw with Bo-Katan and her Night Owls. Just what was that, episode 3 of this season? Wikipedia has that listed as 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. So that would be 5 years after Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so the Battle of Yavin, it was 1 year between Empire and Jedi. I didn't want to burp in the microphone. Yeah, so I'm pretty certain it's 4 years, so it'd be 9 years after. So I think Ezra and because that I believe am I wrong, or does the end of Rebels, not the part with Sabine and Ahsoka, doesn't it bump up to the end of? I mean, the beginning of A New Hope.
Yeah, I think it was right up against Rogue
Rogue
One.
One, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot. This opens up so much. This episode, if you think about it, I mean, it's great seeing Ahsoka and everything, and that's like as for a single serving episode, seeing Ahsoka and a Mandalorian working together. But there's so many more questions that have been added on to the bushel of questions that we have,
Yeah.
leading in. So which is good because
What if we got live action Zeb? What would that be like? That would be pretty cool.
CG, I guess. What do you CG? Do you think?
They could. I mean, I'm sure some of it would be CG, but I think they could do some traditional
Maybe a mixture.
prosthetics and stuff. I was watching some Rebels earlier today, and I was like, man, how would they work his feet? Like they might be able
Shoot him from the waist up. That's how.
right.
Yeah.
They come up with some sort of contraption that is little feet extensions from his ankles and have like super high heels, but have like uh, the blades that those the prosthetic blades that the marathon runners use that don't have that need prosthetics, like the
Yeah,
blade.
because he's got the like the deer ankle type
Yeah,
thing,
like a
right?
satire.
Yeah. I'm looking at him now. I had to take a quick look because I'm like, I can't remember how his feet look.
Yeah, they're like speed. They're like sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
They're sticks.
Yeah. I don't know. I would love to see all those characters come back, especially in live action. And I as much as I want to see uh oh god, I just lost her name.
Hera, Sabine.
No, Sabine. Yeah, as much as I want to see, I do want to see Hera also because Hera was a great character, and I'd love to see her. And we've seen Twi'lek before, Twi'lek, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Uh, in a lot of Star Wars, actually, live action, even the prequels.
I wonder if Jason was getting any kind of training.
Yeah, because he'd be about 9 years old
Yeah.
at this point, and I'm sure he's got not necessarily, but I'm sure he might have be force sensitive. See, the thing that really kind of upsets me about this whole thing is knowing we're 25 years away from the Force Awakens, and again, the Jedi are gone, and so it's like it feels like in a way it's like we're painting ourselves in a corner. That's why I've heard talk about this as bridging towards the sequels. What if it's doing its own thing? Because I don't want to think about Grogu or even Jason or any of these young Jedi or Force users possibly being dead by the time the Force Awakens comes around.
Right.
We know their future pretty much.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it is 25-year gap still, but yeah, I think they could still be like on a different part of the galaxy. Like the sequel trilogy could be like its own little side thing, and then that was going on in one section of the galaxy, and we could get like if it's the Floneyverse or whatever you want to call it, there could be all these other characters doing some really cool stuff in a different part of the galaxy.
Yeah, that could be. It only time will tell. Just keep that in the back of my mind.
A lot of the planets that they used in the sequel trilogies there were a lot of different planets that I wasn't real familiar with, right? I mean, like Jakku, I had never heard of.
Yeah, Jakku was fresh for the sequel trilogy.
Exegol was.
Exegol, yeah, that was fresh. That crate was fresh, which they ended up using in the comics also. Yeah, I think pretty much almost every planet that what's that dumb planet, Canto Bight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think pretty much every planet they used in the sequel trilogy. What's that?
They should have used Starkiller to blow that planet.
Yeah. Well, that's Ilum. But they almost every single planet is new in the sequel trilogy, and I haven't seen a galaxy map in years for Star Wars since Disney took over because it's all different now.
We could use one. We could use an updated galaxy.
Yeah. Well, Jakku, I believe, is close to Tatooine.
Oh, is it?
I think so. I can't remember. I saw something. I think it might be one of my source books where that Jakku was not far from Tatooine. So
It seems whatever corner of the galaxy that Din is flying around in, he's close to Tatooine because he's been there.
because he keeps going back there.
Oh.
That other planet that he keeps going to that has Grief Karga.
Navarro.
Yeah, that must be in that same area.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder how far the Razor Crest could actually travel. On its own. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions.
He's got light speed, so I'm sure it seems like he can travel distances. So.
I guess he does. Yeah, I'm excited about the next episode. I am. I haven't heard any spoilers, but based on what we know, the next stop is Tython, which is awesome.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't have another pit stop along the way.
Well, I'm trying to think. The first episode. No, I guess they didn't mention it until the second episode when he goes back after we see Boba Fett. Yeah, well, we're also coming up on the end of the season.
Yeah, we got 3 more episodes of bringing this story narrative to a close, or somewhat of a close. Which brings me to what I was just thinking about is, so Moff Gideon is still tracking the Razor Crest.
Right.
So he didn't catch up with him in this episode. Is he going to catch up with him when he's on Tython?
Yeah. So what if
we got Bo-Katan and her Night Owls are tracking Moff Gideon, trying to get the Darksaber back? So I'm thinking that maybe by the time Moff Gideon catches up with Din, that Bo-Katan might not be too far behind.
What if Moff Gideon stops on the planet that Ahsoka is first?
Oh.
Yeah.
Because Giancarlo or Giancarlo, however you say.
Esposito, yeah.
He did mention in an interview that he broke several of those Darksabers during filming an episode.
I mean, he could fight Din with that. He's got that Beskar staff also.
Oh, right.
But yeah, that was what I was thinking. Was I hope that he fights Ahsoka. You said that earlier, and then when you're talking about the tracking, maybe there's something off, and they get there right after the Razor Crest has already passed on,
right,
to Tython. And I'm hoping. My bold prediction for the next episode is they actually go to Tython, so they actually go to where they're supposed to be with no problems.
Right,
he's constantly fixing that ship, and I don't want to see that anymore. I want to see him get to Tython and move forward towards what's going to happen next. I really want to see, I mean, think about Moff Gideon could show up and be looking with the Dark Troopers on Corvus and just destroying that city that was just celebrating,
Right.
And Ahsoka shows up, and who knows what could happen.
And her sabers can't do much against those Dark Troopers' armor, right?
Nope. Could be really interesting.
That would be interesting. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, there's also the idea that he could be just straight up tracking him, and they meet on Tython. Yeah, I think. I think we're going to see Cara Dune also, in Grief Karga one more time before the end of the season.
You think?
I think so. I thought I saw that they were in one more episode, and then I think there's so many open strings in this season right now. So and they don't all necessarily need to be closed up either. They kind of did that at the end of season 1 for the most part, and then that we got a cliffhanger with he's got to find where the child goes, and then Moff Gideon with the Darksaber, which I got to tell you, okay, seeing Ahsoka, seeing Bo-Katan, seeing all this stuff has got me excited. But when he cut the damn TIE Fighter open with that was the biggest jaw-dropping moment of the entire show for me.
Right.
So I was like, oh my God, why didn't he use that in town?
Right. That was a hell of a way to that season.
Yeah. So that was excellent. So I'm looking forward to the next 3 episodes to see what we're gonna get. It's gonna be fun.
Do what?
I said it's gonna be fun with whatever happens.
Yeah. This whole season's been a fun ride, but yeah, it seems to be coming to a crescendo here pretty soon.
Also, I just thought the child doesn't necessarily have to become a Jedi or a Force user. Like Ahsoka mentioned, he could kind of bury it, you know.
I just forget.
Yeah, suppress his powers because like Luke did that, and
Yeah.
the Last Jedi.
And it was interesting that he didn't want to use his abilities to send the rock back to Ahsoka. He did with the speed shifter or the shifter knob ship, but yeah, when that was interesting when she said that she sensed a lot of fear in him, and then she brought up that he's becoming emotionally attached to Din,
Yep.
which can lead to the
And she saw it in somebody else. Well, can you say Anakin?
right.
Yeah. So this was a really big episode for the show. Again, I'm gonna show her one more time. There we go. She looks good.
Be still in my heart.
Yeah, get a good look at her. Those lightsabers look great. Very happy to see that. Let's wrap it up because it's 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah, I could use some sleep.
Yeah. Anybody who's watching or will watch this, please hit the subscribe button. We'd like to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So we got about a month and 46 or 56 to go. So you could be a part of that change. If you like Star Wars content, and especially The Mandalorian, please subscribe. Jay, you got some final thoughts on the episode?
I think we pretty much covered it all. I mean, I was just from beginning to end, I was just thoroughly enjoying it and on the edge of my seat a bunch of the times, and then sitting. We still got some little moments where we could those little emotional and character building moments of building their connection. I thought the pacing was pretty good.
Yeah, it was
overall, and I think Dave Filoni wrote this episode, not Jon Favreau, who's been writing he has been writing all the episodes so far in this season. So Filoni directed and wrote this one. I think he did a good job. It definitely much better job on the directing for this episode than his one from season one. So, yeah, I just can't wait to see what all unfolds with this Filoni verse and these other shows we're getting. But for now, I'm ready for these final 3 episodes of Mandalorian and see where we go, see what we get, and then see where we go from there.
Yeah, I think I don't want. I don't know how to put this. I'm hoping to see that there's reasons why, and we saw Bo-Katan. It's not just a one-off thing. And I mentioned it before the show that Star Wars has a habit of showing badass characters that are just one-off, like Darth Maul originally was in the movies, and Jango Fett, and General Grievous, and even Boba Fett, really. But I do feel like, okay, we've introduced Bo-Katan, we've introduced Ahsoka. They're going to all come together at some point. That's what I think, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But this is going to be a crazy last 3 episodes, and I can't wait to see it. It's just the Mandalorian has brought. If the Mandalorian's not brought people who hated the Last Jedi and the whole sequel trilogy back, I don't know what would do it for you, because
Right.
the Mandalorian's really delivered in many ways. And if you haven't watched it, check it out. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. It's just a click, and you can get more content, and you can chat with us, and we will maybe have some regular hours shows also. Not just
regular
3
show.
a.m.
Channel will evolve as we get more subscribers.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is 4:06 here in the St. Louis area, so it is time for us to get some rest. It's Black Friday too.
I don't mess with any of that.
I don't think it even matters anymore at this point. So we will talk to you next time. Maybe we'll do some theories as the week progresses, and we'll probably do another show like this next Friday morning at 3 a.m. ish. and maybe some other videos down the road at some point. Remember, hit that subscribe button if you like what we're doing. Hit the like button too. If you don't like what we're doing, hit the thumbs down. It doesn't really matter. Do one or the other. We like the likes better though. Anyway, have a great Friday, and we'll see you next time.